All right. Forgive me for the background noise. My internet was not working at my house, so I'm in the library. My disorder is epilepsy with ADHD. Epilepsy is a condition of the brain causing seizures. Uh, it is often diagnosed in children. Um, Many children are diagnosed with epilepsy that are also diagnosed with ADHD, anxiety, and depression. There are three major groups of of seizures: generalized onset, which occurs in both sides of the brain; focal onset occurs in one side; and unknown onset, which is, as it states, unknown side. It occurs in unknown sides of the brain. The location that I chose is a public school. Um, they're the elementary school, um, a non-inclusive classroom. Uh, Say about third, fourth, fifth grade. Um, that's probably about as detailed as I have. Um, Characteristics of children with epilepsy um, would depend on the age of onset, frequency of seizures, types of epilepsy, and the amount of medications that they are on will determine the risk or the severity of developmental and intellectual disabilities that the child will have. And that can range from deficits with attention, memory, and psychomotor issues and processing, um, and also behavior issues. Most children with ADHD and epilepsy will might appear as not listening, but that's not actually the case. It's Yes, they are not listening, but they are actually having a seizure. It looks like they're staring off into space like this, and they're not responding. So therefore, students who have epilepsy and ADHD, they are often referred to as a bad apple because they're not listening. That gives them a bad stigma. Um, if proper interventions are taken early when it's first diagnosed or caught early, um, they have a higher chance later down the road to have a more successful um, life and more positive outcome as regards to transition of care and treatment and um, lifestyle. Um, there's also a lack of teacher training and awareness and first aid um, obstacles that they face in school. How I would plan to tackle that and the accommodations that I would make for that would be to implement seizure first aid training to all faculty, staff, and teachers, and also make sure that they would be aware of the symptoms of possible seizures and to be on the lookout if a student might be in the students who are misdiagnosed. So, as when I was in the beginning stages of diagnosis, I had a teacher had me chew gum to kind of assess my awareness. So if I stopped chewing the gum, then they witnessed me having an absence seizure, or they asked me to count to 10. If I didn't completely count to 10, then that was me having an absence seizure. Um, and they should include a seizure action plan in their IEP. They should also improve their cognitive functioning beginning very, very early by implementing strategies, learning strategies, study skills, and assisting with those application every day. Um, and brain training and mnemonics and use of audiobooks to help prepare them for life after school. Um, by having an action plan, a plan A and a plan B, beginning their freshman or even sixth grade year. They should review that every year with them, with their doctor, their parent, the student, and the psychologist to make sure they're on the right track and the path to success. Because many students with epilepsy and ADHD fall behind. They should removing social stigma and spread awareness by creating a positive atmosphere and treating them positively instead of because they are a bad apple. They're not necessarily a bad apple. They are just not looked at positively. They need to be looked at positively. They need to not constantly feel like they are bad. They need to be encouraged and have positive reinforcement, and have they need to know what their strengths are and feel more confident. Um, that's across the range for all students with intellectual and developmental disabilities, because students with intellectual and developmental disabilities, they could go anywhere and they can go anywhere in the world with the right care and treatment and interventions.